This is Tavi. Um, I just wanted to add on to some of my puppy training um, videos. I'm a little bit older now, and recently I did get a puppy, a Morkie. Schnauzers will always be my first love, but kind of got priced out of those. They're so expensive, and so anyway, I got a Morkie. I will admit I'm 70 now, and I had forgotten how much work a puppy is. I also wanted to mention for anybody who's considering getting a puppy, especially for the holidays, it is not a good idea, especially if you live in north of the Mason-Dixon line, or even around a little bit farther south of the Mason-Dixon line. As winter approaches, it gets colder and it rains or it snows. And I know I've talked to you about how often puppies need to go out. Well, believe me, they need to go out. And it's sometimes every hour they have to go out. And it's not fun when you have to put on your gear, your coat, your hat, your gloves, or have an umbrella with all the hat and gloves and everything on to take your puppy out. But if you want your dog to be house trained, you need to. Now, I considered getting those that artificial turf where puppies or small breed dogs can go to the bathroom in the house. But in the long run, I kind of saw that as being counterproductive. Although it would be convenient, mind you. I mean, it would save me going out in the freezing cold at all times of day and night to take the puppy outside to go potty. But I, I just got it thinking I might use it. But in the long run, it is better that you train your puppy to go outside. But this is just another reason you should not get a puppy during the holidays or during the wintertime, or have one that will be potty training during the wintertime. It is not fun. Mm-mm. And I just ended up getting a puppy kind of spur of the moment, and I didn't even think about that. Did not even think about it. And because the weather was still kind of nice when I first got the puppy. But now it's just, so anyway, I told you I have a Morkie, and that's a Maltese Yorkie. And he's 12 weeks old today, so he's 3 months. And he's done quite well with potty training. He actually will go to the door and lay down, telling me he needs to go outside to go potty. So I'm really tickled with that. I did train one other dog I have to ring a bell. And anyway, the Morkie is starting to ring the bell sometimes. So I didn't even work with him on that. Maybe he just, since the bell's right there, he just accidentally pressed it one time and I jumped up. And so I think with positive reinforcement like that, he just, learned how to ring the bell too. So, but he is in the midst of teething and getting into everything. Usually I would keep a dog in a crate, and I've mentioned that in one of my puppy training class or puppy videos. And But this was a different kind of a situation. He, well, I had heard that one of the puppies in the litter was an escape artist, wanted to get out of the pen or whatever he could do it. He'd climb right out. Well, when I put this, and they didn't tell me later that it was this puppy. But anyway, this puppy did not like being in the crate. And so he would really whine and bite at the cage, just do anything he could. You should have seen him. He was just pacing back and forth, just trying to climb or push his way out of that crate. And so what I did for him, at first I thought it was kind of like separation anxiety, like I had mentioned before, where you maybe would want to put a clock in there and a pillowcase or whatever, but it was not the case with him. I could be sitting in the room and put him in the crate, and he would just pace and salivate. He was nervous and anxious, because he was in this crate. So I have really tried to let him be out as much as possible. And I worked with him, training him to go in and to come out of the crate with a treat. And the day that I worked with him on going in and coming out of the crate, see, I'd give him just a little bit of kibble, one piece, and I drop it in the crate. It's just a regular cage, kind of a crate, and I would tell him to go in, and then when he went in, and I'd ask him to sit, and then I'd drop the kibble into the crate. And then I'd ask him to come out, and I'd treat him with that. And I think he saw that he could go in and out, and it maybe wasn't such a scary place or whatever. Like, I don't know what was going through his little puppy mind. But anyway, that night, he didn't pace or slobber as much, and it was like he realized it was just a temporary thing, that he wasn't going to have to stay in there forever. And so we worked on that for a few days. And slowly but surely, don't you know, that puppy slept through the night, and I was so happy. I was so happy when he was sleeping through the night, because there's nothing like getting up in the middle of the night, like once or twice, and you're not getting enough sleep. Even at my age, that it's pretty rough on me for that. But when, let's say, if you're working or you've got other things you have to do, you have children, and it just wears you out. It really wears you out. And you're up and down, and you don't, for the first 2 weeks, I did not, I was sleep deprived, basically, the whole time. And that was not fun. And since I'm the one that has to take care of the puppy, and there's not even someone to help me do that, so just another thing to think about. And then too, just some advice for older people in general. I think that if I had it to do over and realized just how difficult it was going to be, I would have probably got an older dog, one, either a rescue that was already house trained, or something like that, a situation like that, because they're a lot of work. I mean, I'm already seeing a lot of reward because luckily I know what to look for when they're free to roam. I know what to look for as far as puppy body language. And, or you really got to keep your eye on your dog. And if you can't, then he needs to go in the crate. And the first 2 weeks, that was kind of difficult in my situation. But now, if he tends to want to wander off from the area that I'm in, and I can call him back, and he'll come back. Like, where are you going? What you doing? And he'll come right back. But if they continue to do that, you just can't sit down and stand up, sit down and stand up every 5 minutes looking to see what your puppy's doing. Especially, they tend to get bored real quick, and that's really important that you got plenty of chew bones, those hard ones, real bones. You can get them at the store. Something similar to this. I just wanted to show it. Something like that. Something that they can just chew on. Or even, I don't know if they have Nylabones or anything anymore, but something, a tennis ball, small tennis balls, just anything that they can kind of chew on. Rope toys. He does like to chew on a rope toy. But just have plenty, and squeaky toys. Have plenty of those things laying around because they just want to constantly chew, and that's important. So anyway, when they start going in and out of rooms and you have to get up and down all the time, put them in the crate. But like, for instance, with mine, it's only for like 20 minutes. And sometimes they'll take a nap, which is not too bad at the time because you can get other things done. But if they sleep during the day, they might not sleep as well at night. So that's something else to think about. Or they get up early. He is sleeping through the night, like I said, but he tends to get up early. And so I have to go to sleep a little early at night so that I can get some rest. And so it's a balancing kind of thing. And like I said, I'm really glad he's sleeping through the night. But you just really need to think twice. And also, it being 12 weeks, I have definitely been grooming. Maltese Yorkies need to be trimmed pretty regular. Their little hair just grows like crazy. So using all the tools that I've shown in some of my other videos, the scissors and like for around the paws and stuff are really important. Or the legs, the longer scissors. But I have exposed them to some of the grinders. Now, I remember I did a video on Petapaws, and I have found a better one. Because Petapaws, I know, was initially a brand new one, but I have one called Lucky Tails. Let's see if I can get it here. Lucky Tails. And I just bought that. It's a rechargeable one. I like that. And I bought it on the internet, and I really like it. It's really quiet. Yes, it's still a grinder, but I can grind my puppy's nails with it already, and he's good with it. So anyway, I just wanted to make this video for people who think about getting a puppy during the holidays. Bad decision. Nobody gets rest. It's just a mess. So it's better not to get puppies that you'll have to be training during the winter. So, with that said, and if you're older, to think of an alternative to getting a puppy. This will be my last puppy. So, and I probably my last dog. Uh, so there's just too much going on during the holidays, and it's just not a good idea to get a puppy during the holidays. And so just think about that. By 6 months, small breed dogs are usually done with teething. Mine is 3 months old, and that's with constant training. He's already potty trained and will go to the door. So that's a big thing. But all that other stuff. And if you're not watching and you leave them out and you're not watching as you're trying to potty train, they'll just keep going to the bathroom on the floor. I'm just telling you. So, because it just requires so much time and effort, it's better not to have them during the holidays. No Christmas present dogs and stuff like that. Because right into the winter you go. Not fun. And so think about how far. Well, let me just say that it's better to get a puppy in the spring, and that's for obvious reasons. Of course, you may have rain to deal with, but that's nothing like freezing cold and snow and ice and all that stuff. So, spring would be the best time to get a puppy, and you could always put a IOU puppy under the Christmas tree in a paper and an envelope saying, "I'll get you a puppy in the spring," or whatever. But spring and summer are the best times to have a puppy. Spring is ideal. The beginning of summer would be pretty good. Let's see, summer, June, July, August, September, October, November. Well, yeah. Spring is the time to get a puppy. Because even at 6 months, if they're a large breed dog, they're still chewing and stuff at 6 months, 5 or 6 months, they're still chewing big time. So, ideally, you should get a puppy in the spring. And that's my tip for today. Enjoy your holiday season and think twice about a puppy at this time. All right, have a good day. Bye.